Welcome back to Wise Gold, where we explore useful and fascinating knowledge tailored for those entering the golden years of life. As we age, the world around us changes in ways we often can't predict. Our children grow up and move out. Some of our closest friends may move to different places or pass on. And eventually, many of us find ourselves living alone. For some, living alone in old age is a choice driven by a desire for independence. For others, it comes from circumstances, perhaps the loss of a spouse or family members who live far away. But whatever the reason, living alone in our later years can shape the way we navigate daily life in profound ways. My neighbor, Eleanor, a 78-year-old retired teacher living in a quiet suburban neighborhood. After her husband passed away 10 years ago, her children suggested that she move in with one of them. But Eleanor, always fiercely independent, decided to stay in the home where she had lived for over 40 years. "It's not that I don't love my kids," she often tells her friends, "but I enjoy my peace, my own schedule, and the freedom to live my life without feeling like a burden." Living alone for Eleanor, like so many older adults, brings its challenges. Yet it also fosters habits, routines, and behaviors that shape her identity in these golden years. Here, we explore 9 things living alone makes us do as we age, illustrating the unique experiences of older adults who choose or find themselves in this position. 1. We become more self-sufficient. When we live alone, self-sufficiency becomes not just a skill, but a necessity. This is something that older adults learn quickly. From preparing meals to managing household repairs, living alone forces us to maintain a level of independence that we might otherwise relinquish if we were living with family. For instance, David, an 81-year-old widower from Texas, learned to cook his own meals after his wife passed away. At first, it was overwhelming, he admits. "I'd never spent much time in the kitchen before, but now I enjoy it. I even started baking bread from scratch. It's my little hobby." Self-sufficiency often brings a sense of pride. While tasks like fixing a leaky faucet or organizing bills might have been shared with a spouse or family, older adults living alone take on these responsibilities themselves, proving that independence can thrive even in later years. 2. We develop a stronger sense of routine. When living alone, creating and sticking to a routine can bring structure to our days. Without the presence of family members or roommates, routines offer stability and comfort. Take Martha, a 76-year-old widow from Florida, who wakes up every day at 7 a.m. sharp, makes her morning coffee, and sits on her porch to watch the sunrise. "It's my favorite part of the day," she says. "That little routine keeps me grounded." Routines give us purpose, especially when there's no one else around to set the rhythm of the day. Whether it's a daily walk in the park, an afternoon nap, or catching up on a favorite TV show at a certain time, these small rituals help older adults living alone maintain a sense of normalcy. 3. We learn to enjoy solitude. For many, the quiet of living alone can be intimidating at first, but over time, it can transform into a source of peace and reflection. Solitude becomes an opportunity to reconnect with oneself, reflect on life, and engage in hobbies and activities that bring personal joy. Consider Carol, 82, who rediscovered her love for painting after living alone for several years. "When my husband was alive, we were always busy with social gatherings or family events. After he passed, I was left with so much quiet time. It was lonely at first, But then I realized how much I missed painting. Now, I spend hours in my little studio every week. Solitude isn't about isolation, but rather an opportunity to embrace the quiet and find fulfillment in activities we might not have had time for earlier in life. 4. We take better care of our health. Living alone forces us to take full responsibility for our physical and mental health. Without anyone else around to remind us to eat well, take our medication, or go for regular checkups, we must take charge of our well-being. James, 74, from Oregon, realized that living alone meant paying more attention to his health. When my wife was around, she made sure I ate healthy meals and went to my doctor's appointments. Now, I'm the one keeping track of everything. I've even started walking every morning to stay active. Older adults living alone are often more attuned to their health needs, knowing that their independence depends on staying as healthy as possible. 5. We become more resilient in the face of challenges. Living alone can come with its fair share of challenges, both emotional and practical. From dealing with loneliness to managing home repairs or financial matters, older adults often find that living alone fosters resilience. Patricia, 79, lives alone in a small cottage in Maine. A few winters ago, a major snowstorm knocked out her power for 2 days. I was scared at first, she recalls, but then I thought, I can handle this. I had candles, extra blankets, and even some canned food. I got through it, and now I feel like I can handle anything that comes my way. Challenges that might seem daunting when living with others become opportunities to grow stronger and more self-reliant when living alone. 6. We develop a deeper appreciation for social connections. While living alone often means spending a lot of time by oneself, it also makes us value social interactions even more. The visits from children, phone calls from friends, or even conversations with neighbors become treasured moments. Betty, 80, lives alone in a small apartment in New York City. She makes a point to call her daughter every Sunday afternoon and attends a weekly knitting group at the local community center. I love my time alone, but those little social moments mean everything to me, she says. Living alone doesn't mean being isolated. It just makes us cherish the connections we do have even more. 7. We become more in tune with our surroundings. When living with others, we might not notice the little things, the sound of the wind, the chirping of birds, or the way the light changes throughout the day. But living alone can heighten our awareness of the world around us. John, 85, who lives alone on a farm in the Midwest, often spends his mornings walking around his property, listening to the sounds of nature. When you're alone, you notice everything, he says. The way the leaves rustle, the smell of rain. It's like the world slows down, and you can really appreciate it. Being alone allows older adults to be more mindful and appreciative of the beauty in everyday moments. 8. We make our own decisions without hesitation. Living alone means having full control over our decisions without the need to consult with others. Whether it's what to eat for dinner, when to go to bed, or how to spend our money, older adults living alone can enjoy the freedom to make choices that suit their own preferences and needs. For example, Maria, a 77-year-old living in California, decided to downsize her home and move to a smaller, more manageable apartment. I didn't have to ask anyone's opinion, she says. I made the decision for me, and it felt liberating. This sense of autonomy is one of the great benefits of living alone in old age. 9. We rediscover our inner strength. Perhaps one of the most profound things living alone teaches us is the strength we have within ourselves. Facing each day without the immediate support of others reveals just how resilient, capable, and strong we can be. Emily, 88, who has lived alone for over 15 years, reflects on her experience. There were times when I thought I wouldn't be able to handle it, especially after my husband passed. But each year that goes by, I realize how much strength I have inside. Living alone has shown me that I'm stronger than I ever knew. Living alone in old age may present its challenges, but it also gives us the chance to rediscover our inner strength, one day at a time. Living alone in old age is not without its difficulties, but it also offers immense rewards. From becoming more self-sufficient to rediscovering forgotten passions, older adults who live alone are often able to enjoy a sense of independence, peace, and fulfillment that might otherwise be lost. As the stories above illustrate, living alone fosters resilience, self-awareness, and a deep appreciation for the moments that make life truly meaningful.